Good evening YouTubers, it's Railroad Mark here. Just an update on my latest locomotive I have brought to the fleet. My last one was this beautiful B17, which is a railroad model. A lovely locomotive. I've lashed out just before Christmas and purchased the beautiful Hornby 700 class. Now, a beautiful locomotive. I won't go into great details on it, but because you've watched YouTube, you'll see hundreds of them. Anyway, here's mine. Very delicate locomotive, a beautifully finished locomotive also, I say. You have the running gear inside there, the beautiful piping on the side, with all my due care of trying to put the chip in, the brake rods on, the exhaust pipe, the brake pipes on. I did have one mishap. The little running board spike on top front here has broken off. With all my due care, I could not just something broke. So it is a very delicate locomotive to handle. Handle it with care. Even with too much care, you can still break something. So I'm going to attempt to glue it back on at some stage. I'm just going to leave it for the time being. I'm going to use maybe my phone as a magnifying glass so I can look through it and try and glue it back onto the spot. But until then, I'm not worried about it at the moment. It's not affecting the run of the locomotive. With this locomotive, it is made of the die-cast metal. The actual frame and the chassis is all die-cast. The tender is plastic. It has a weight in the tender to give it a bit extra weight, and the chip is also allocated in the tender along with the pickups on the wheels. A beautiful running locomotive. Only trouble I do have, as you might know, on this layout I have a 4% incline. That's 4% is a pretty big incline. It's not the whole full length of the 4%, but it does go up on a 4% grade. Unfortunately, she can only manage about 4 wagons up there with the brake coach on the back. So she's only about 5 up the incline. So her tractive effort is not as good as you would think, being a die-cast body. She's got the same tractive effort as one of my Ginties. I've got 2 Ginties, one here. Another one somewhere else, but her tractive effort, I've tested it, is the same as one of the Ginties. But never to mind. I don't run her up the incline. I've got a new system that I get her to pull the trains to the siding before the incline. She leaves the train there, and I've got my 5200 class locomotive here, which is another beautiful railroad model. Not railroad, but a railroad model. And she's also another beautifully detailed locomotive. But she has the strength to pull an 8 to 10 car train up the incline quite easily, but not this poor little 700. She's just on the local flat duties. But anyway, enough talk. We'll give her a bit of a run to see how she goes, and away she goes. Now, beautiful smooth runner. She has a good rake of wagons on her now. She has no trouble pulling this rake at all. It's just when you hit the incline, that's when the problems happen. So let's get her running around the incline, around the inner line. And that's her wagon and train there. You can see quite substantial load. We'll get back to her running around the layout. That's a set of points. And as most of these locomotives, I run them at a locomotive a good pace. And she's managing that many, which you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 wagons on, and she's managed those quite nicely around the nice flat layout. And she's going around there, around past the round yard. This is my first southern locomotive too, but she has got the early crest on her. I try and keep most of my locomotives with the early crest if I can. You can see the Patriot has the early crest on as well, so that's, I sort of try to keep to that if I can. If I can't, I'm not too worried about it. You get the B17 running as well. She's running around the layout as well, and we get the Star class. There's another beautiful locomotive too of mine. She's a great runner too. She's just leaving the station now on her Anyway, back to the 700 class. Here she is. As I said, beautiful running gear. It runs very, very smoothly. Not a problem at all. And you shouldn't expect a problem with pickups on the tender as well. As you can see, she's managed that load quite nicely, running very nicely around the layout, but only at a good speed, a goods train speed, I should say. And that's her running around there, doing a great job. Did that detail inside the back cab. As you can see, lots of detail in the back, inside the cab. Well, that's it for me. It's running back over and out. That's my new 700 class, a beautiful locomotive. Try and catch up on it. And it's a great buy. And that was again from AJM Railways in England. So another great buy. It was $140 here in Australia, and that was free postage and sent out here. So a great buy, considering I paid $135 for the B17 class. It is a bigger locomotive, but yet it's not a supreme model like this. So the value for this was excellent. Alright, that's it. Over and out. Have a good night.